Okay, so let's go. Hello and welcome to our episode with Cynthia, the psychic mermaid of Galveston.
Hi.
We are here in Galveston in a beautiful, gorgeous day, having an interview on PIP, the Positive Impact Project, which is focusing on those who really are making a difference and working toward the better good of humanity. And so we are going to talk to Cynthia today a little bit about her work and her background and as much as we can get out of her today. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, Ingrid.
All right. So tell us, first of all, tell us about what it is that you do right now in your life currently.
Right now, what I'm doing, believe it or not, is working as a mermaid, a psychic mermaid here in Galveston. I've always felt that I was a mermaid somehow or another. And my little fetish hobby or whatever, I got my little tail and my walking dress tail and just did all this on my own. And then did my psychic business on the side. But somehow it's merging together and people want the mermaid psychic. And so, hence the blue hair. And a lot of joy that I bring to people. My son even said last week when we were on the Strand with Dickens here in Galveston that, you know, people had this frown on their face or whatever, but whenever they saw me, the mermaid, they just started perking up and he just saw joy from the inside. And so he was really happy about that. And I was happy that he got a chance to see that it's not just about, you know, I got a weird mother, but that what I do brings something from within a person and it, you know, for lack of a better word, ministers to them, you know, on a deeper level. And so that's why I do what I do.
And I think you loosen people up a little bit too with it.
Yeah,
you know,
they don't take
life
it so seriously.
Because we're supposed to have a little fun with our lives, you know. I think it's wonderful.
I hope we do, you know.
So, tell me about your childhood, your background as far as, you know, the psychic gift and where you think this all came from.
One thing I think it came from is that I think it's a lineage in the female side of my family. I think they are very intuitive, you know, and it's come out in several readings. So by the time I came into the world, I came here deaf. I couldn't hear at all, and I went almost like 15 months undetected by my family that I was deaf. And I think I must have been very intuitive and, you know, empathic, where I picked up everybody's energy because I responded to everything, but I never heard anything. And so my dad one day figured out that I couldn't hear because he'd done something behind me and I didn't react to it. And so took me to the doctor and they said, oh yeah, she's deaf, you didn't know? And it's like, what? So while they were preparing to get me into deaf school or something like that, somehow miraculously, you know, some major thing happened. My dad said a thunderstorm. My mom says a screen slammed, and I started crying. And
Wow.
My mom said I've been crying ever since.
Wow.
Yeah. So, but because of that, I didn't like fully regain my hearing. I basically was hard of hearing. So I had to go get these tests every year. Every August 8th, I had to get tests. But I still had to depend on people's reactions, on pulling in my intuitive self. And I think it gave me an advantage of being very observant with my environment and made me look for things that other people wouldn't see. And I think psychics are people who are a little bit more in tune and aware of their surroundings, because another word for the mind is the psyche. And when you use your psyche, you know, then you're expanding, you know, what normal people just go asleep. And I think in the older days, maybe people were using their psyche more because we didn't have so many distractions, electronic
Technology.
distraction, yeah. And so they could tell you the signs of the times. Now we who are more in tune with certain things, you know, and not all of it's just outside, it's inward too. But when you start looking at outside, you know, gestures and things like that, it makes you go inside and start noticing patterns, and then you start predicting the next thing that's going to happen because of the cyclic changes and things that you know, acquired over the years. So I think that kind of helped me with psychic stuff.
It sounds like it. I mean, that's pretty miraculous just to regain your hearing. I mean,
Yeah.
come on, that's
Where did
pretty
that come from?
amazing. It was kind of like you were being trained, you know, by the divine
Yeah.
to become psychic from a
Yeah.
very early age.
Yeah, and I think, you know, that's another thing it did. It made me very introverted because, you know, you don't want your friends in school. Kids can be very, very cruel. And they were kind of bullying me a lot, you know, so I stayed inward. I did a lot of reading, you know, encyclopedias and those other things. And anything that I could read, atlases, I don't care. I just read it. And so it formed another foundation of knowledge for me. So I can always pull on things, and people are like, how do you know all that? I don't even remember half the stuff, but Spirit will pull it out because I kind of digested all that information. So it really helps in the psychic part.
Wonderful. So, as an adult, what would you say, where did you start on your work for being a psychic?
I think, believe it or not, from church. You know, I was very, very religious, you could say, very strict, and brought my kids up strictly. And then we ended up going to this hyper spiritual church where you had to just seek God and the Holy Spirit. And I did that. And next thing I know, I think what it did for me was opened up a door that was just kind of rattling, and it just busted wide open. And I walked right into all of my psychic gifts. And, you know, then I started getting prophetic words and things that God wanted me to tell the people and stuff like that. And that went on for years. And then later on, you know, the church that I was in started changing. I left that one, went to another, and there was a prophetic church, and I was flowing. And then that one started changing. And then I just felt like I was in a box. I couldn't get out everything that I needed to get out as far as being a prophetess. And one day there was this particular group that was opening up by this lady named Ingrid.
What was that group?
And it was kind of scary for me because it was a psychic group, but I felt like I wanted to figure out, what are these evil psychics about? You know, I need to, you know, find out what I can get out of them or they can get out of me. I don't know. Maybe I even thought I could save the whole bunch and give them Jesus or something. I have no idea. I thought I could bring my light. And so I get in there, and here's this beautiful woman here in the circle, and it wasn't a psychic reading because that's what I was afraid of, but it was a psychic group teaching you how to develop your psychic abilities. And that one night was a significant change for me, because first thing I started realizing that a lot of times we fight over words. Psychic and prophet, pretty much same thing. Hearing from God and being clairaudient is the same thing.
And feeling that need to give that message.
Yes, you have a message, and you know, God's gifts are without repentance, they say. So that means if He gave you a gift, He's not going to take it back. No matter where you go, you got that gift. And so Ingrid recognized that I had this gift, and I recognized that she had this gift, and somehow we just never broke up.
It's a kinship. And you know what? When I first started that group, it was in 2009, that I actually had this idea of, I wanted to find other people like me. And so I was hoping to just get together a whole bunch of psychics and we could all hang out. what I found were a lot of people came that were seeking
Yes.
and that wanted teaching, and that's when it dawned on me, I think I'm supposed to teach.
Yes.
That's when it all started.
Wow.
So I actually was looking for my people, and of course I found them. So
yeah. Wow.
that's wonderful. And when I saw you two, I remember that connection and recognition of, wait, I know you. We're, you know, we are one and the same.
We have been like spiritual buddies ever since. You know, it was the adjustment of where do we fit in as camaraderie, friends, teacher, student, you know, and it was a journey.
We were very much cohesive, coming from very different places,
Yes.
and complementary in
Yeah.
our gifts and our
Yeah.
interests.
Yeah.
So it was like puzzle pieces, you know, fitting together.
She did an awesome thing, and she's done that for the whole Houston area, wherever she travels to every 5 minutes. I'm not even going to go into that, but you know, being a nomadic Aquarius like she is, and I can't say anything because
You
I'm
are
a nomadic
too.
Aquarius. I moved all the way to another city, you know,
Yeah.
kind of. So
You followed your calling and you came
Yeah.
to Galveston.
I had to be by the water. I just had to be. So
So you became the mermaid.
I became the mermaid
And
psychic.
so what's going on right now with trying to put together the psychic you that you blossomed
Mm-hmm.
into and this mermaid adventure?
It's still a journey. So I think what kind of got me there a little bit was the fact that I think Ingrid and I, we cycle a lot together. We cycle together, which I teach about the cycles of life and how we, you know, have certain essences every year. So we are like in 4 or something, but last year we were in 3 together. And 3 is about creativity and listening to your gut. So both of us was like going through this identity crisis. So we both start crafting and creating stuff, you know. I was like, well, Ingrid, just do some crafts or
I
something.
have a closet full of knitted stuff now.
And I'm like jewelry and, you know, things that we were doing. And we thought that we were going on a different path. But what Spirit was doing was setting us up to kind of get us in a meditative state, to get us to transition better into where we need to be. So here she is doing the interview thing. Here I am doing a mermaid thing. It's crazy.
We're coming together.
We're coming together, and we're still on this wild journey. But I still do readings over the phone a lot and in person. People call me all the time, and I still have a lot of my old clients still calling me because which is great for me. But they'll say, you know, you did the predictions last year, which I do every year. It's like every quarter, everything you said came true. I just need my predictions this year. I'm getting a whole lot of prediction calls now.
Wonderful.
And so, you know, it's just evolving into whatever it is I'm open for.
That's
I'm not going to
wonderful.
put it in a box and say, well, I'll only work this way or that way.
Well, since you brought that up, maybe you can give everybody a little prediction for 2017. What do you think's going to happen? I know there's a lot of questions out there about what is going to happen now because of the big changes, both in our country, and there's this huge awakening spiritually. I think a lot of people are wondering what is coming.
Well, 2017, now you put me on the spot because I'm just going to say in general, you know, 2017 with numerology is a 1 year. So 1 always represents new beginnings, you know, and new opportunities happening. Now, I feel that a lot of people have been praying for a change. People have been praying for something different to happen, and we have been praying for something different. And when we get something different, we get pissed off when it's not in the answer that we think it should be. But I think we all should just have faith that whatever this big change is, it's going to come this year pretty much through the justice system. I'm seeing the word justice. I'm seeing, you know, liberation. I'm seeing answers. And I'm seeing the word beholden. I don't know what that means.
I really feel like, you know, I tell people a lot, if you're going to go meditate on a mountain, that's wonderful. Learn how to meditate. But you are not going to be able to use that meditation for the rest of your life on a mountain. You have to be on a busy street and apply that. So what I'm saying is that when something seems really scary or there's a big challenge, you have to be aware that this is for you. This is a gift for you to stretch yourself, to find peace within yourself, even with all of that stuff going on around you. And I feel like that's what's coming up, is for everybody to accept that as a gift.
And then another thing is, I just I used to teach and still do on the angelic realm, and there are 7 tiers of the angelic realm, and 3, but there are tiers inside of those tiers. So one of them is the principalities, the angelic realm of the principalities. And you have the regular angelic realm, you have the archangels, and you have the principalities, you have the thrones. Well, the principalities happens to be over the kings, the priests, the martyrs, the presidents. All of those people are ruled by the principalities. And you have to trust that the universe put people in place for a reason, and they can't do no more than they let them, because we are under charge of certain energies, and then they're put in place because they're here to cause some stirring of people, some changes of people. You have people who died because of causes, and you have people who created causes and created life. So we have to trust that the principalities over this system here know what they're doing. And God didn't sit here, bring us here to just trick us like, boo, now I got you. We have to trust that your prayers are going to be answered. No matter which way you voted, no matter which way your belief system is, you got to believe that God or the universe has your higher good, in mind.
And remember, I mean, we are all here working as one. We are all one energy. So when you think about it, everything you see around you is an extension of yourself, meaning that those things that you don't even like, or the things that a person you think you hate, is actually a part of you, is an extension of you. So it's really important to take a look at yourself and think, what does this represent in me that I do not like, that I am afraid of, and how can I change that and face that?
Yes. And sometimes we like to externalize it. We like to put it on a person and say, you are the problem. You are the reason why I'm miserable. And so if I snuff you out, then I'll feel better. But you still have you.
You're still there, and something else will pop up to take that place.
So it's like when you find the perfect place, it's no longer perfect because you're there.
You have to remember, it's still you wherever you go.
Yeah.
You have to work on peace here no matter what's going on around you. So thank you. And I know that I put you on the spot, but you are really good on the spot. So you always have clarity, and that's what I love about you.
But you too. Aren't we so perfect?
We're going to do a show together from now on.
It's crazy. We are so crazy together.
We just will cut out everybody else, and just the two of us will just talk all the time. Thumbs up if you agree. Okay, moving forward, what do you see for yourself in the future, like in the next few years? What is your vision for yourself?
I don't know, because I'm trying to stay open and not plant myself into a certain category. But one of the things that I know that I'm here to do is to empower women. Another thing is, I would see myself as speaking, from a platform in certain states and cities to women, and also, doing a lot of channeling, actually, just flat out channeling. Now, I used to do that all the time, and then I got dependent on tarot cards, and then she was like, what are you doing? But it was like a springboard. It's a safety net. But, just flat out channeling. Just doing whatever Spirit says and go with the flow.
Wonderful. Yeah. I think that's the best place to be anyway, just to be open. But, sometimes we have this vision for ourselves that it's like, I love doing this. and I want to do more of this. Is there something in this work that you just love, that you're passionate about?
I think it's just channeling. I think now it's just flowing and just giving whatever spirit is telling me. I love going to the ocean and praying and just even doing ocean work, believe it or not. I take people to the ocean and we literally do work in the water. Because I feel that we as human beings are, so connected to water. We're over 70% water. And when we go into a place where there's true movement and vibration, moving of the ocean or any living flow of water, we then connect. When we go in with an intent, we change. We go to play in water or to do work in water, but when we go to pray in water, things happen. And that is what I like. I would like to do just... No, not even baptism.
I like the word baptism. I feel like it's refreshing, renewing.
It would be good, baptism, but that just brings me back to my religion. But I understand what you mean. But I just kind of go up to the navel because that's the second chakra, which is the water chakra. And this is where balance is. That's where relationship. And most of the time, people want to deal with relationships. And this is exactly where I think we can get rid of a lot of things. And there is a scripture that says, throw your cares upon the water, and not many days hence it will return back to you. And so that means, to me, it feels like, just tell the universe what you need, and then the negative or the positive goes out, and then when it comes back, it's answered. And there's a flow that we need to, get back to as humans. So if anything, I think those good little rituals by the ocean is kind of one of the things that I would like to do.
That would be wonderful. And I don't think there's anything like that out there. Honestly, I think that would be unique and beautiful, and I think a lot of people would be interested. So I hope you do that.
I think I'll put together a ritual one night when the water's warm enough for everybody.
Yeah, I can't believe how nice it is out right now. So it started out rainy, and the sun is out.
Galveston is. The ocean just blows out all the clouds, and sometimes Houston is like got a deluge going on, but we're like cool.
It's just a beautiful
day.
The
sun is out. Jump into the canal. Go right across the street to the ocean.
Well, thank you for having us in your home and coming on the show and sharing your light with us. And I am just so proud of the work that you do, and that you are so willing and bold, especially with the adversity, especially with the fact that this work is very difficult. Even in the South like this, you have a lot of people that are coming from a religious standpoint, and you had to kind of fight through all of that. And that is a lot of strength.
I fought through religious stuff because of the fact that, this is supposed to be of the devil. In my last marriage, when all this happened, I had an intervention getting me to Jesus because I was going to hell. Even in the black community, we have been taught that all of this is not of God. Even though the black community has come from a very, very spiritual background in Africa, we have like such a strong spiritual nature, and that whenever we get to delve into what we are, no matter what your religion is, whatever your spirituality is, we have this connection that we should get to, and not, try to tell people how to, work their religion. And that's not just to black people. It just happened to be, I'm black and I'm just saying, but it's all good. It's all good. And every religion has this thread of love with it. And so I think that's what we should strive in. It's love, And I think that was our commonality here. It didn't matter about our race or our gender. We just loved each other. And so, and we always had a desire, or have a desire, to help mankind one way or another. This is how we connected, because of your gift of humanitarian
Yeah, you got it. You too. We're both humanitarians.
Yeah, and so
Aquarians.
Yeah, Aquarians and humanitarians. We'll fight a cause. Oh my God, we will get on a soapbox in a minute. We will fight a cause, fight for a cause, all the time. So.
Well, thank you so much for being on today, and thank you everybody for watching. And hopefully we'll come back on with you again and check how you're doing. You know, in the next few months, see where you're at and get more beautiful wisdom. Thank you. Anything else you want to say to anybody out there?
No, just give me a call. 281-608-8859. I also work at the Peanut Butter Warehouse, which is the marketplace. Have about 30 shops in there here in Galveston, on 20th and Harborside. So I make jewelry and wind chimes, everything that's ocean inspired. That's what we do.
And you get mermaid readings, right?
I give mermaid readings. I literally dress as a mermaid. You can have that.
Get a picture taken.
Also. Yes, so we do that.
And your website is?
It's a Psychic Flow. www.psychicflow.com. You know.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you, everybody, and I hope you have a wonderful Christmas weekend. Happy holidays, and bye-bye.
Bye-bye. That was long.
That was nice and long. The other ones were, short compared to this one. But I felt like you and I were going to talk. No, I like it because I really wanted to have longer shows, but I was kind of done with